There's been some lurching, and you have reported very well on this, coming to a deal, then Netanyahu saying that Hamas is basically backtracking but without specificity, and then appearing to figure things out. Tell us about that process.
I think that at least that's what I hear from people who are in Doha, both Americans and Qataris and Israelis. It was, last minute attempts by each side to get, something more, especially on Hamas's side, to try to, change some of the names of the prisoners and get some of its military leaders, senior military leaders that are in the Israeli jails to get them out in this phase of the deal. And the Israelis saying, you will not get them in this phase of the deal. Israel has, according to the agreement, has some veto power over some of the names. It can decide whether it wants to take them out of the list, a certain number of names. But I think this was all, last minute haggling. At the end, this is not something that could have really exploded the deal or anything like that.
And Barak, there has been considerable right-wing dissent here from some of Netanyahu's cabinet members. What happens to his governing coalition? What happens to Netanyahu? Is his power in jeopardy?
I think this deal is the biggest threat for Netanyahu's coalition since the October 7th attack. Netanyahu managed to politically survive the aftermath of the immediate aftermath of the October 7th attack, when a lot of people thought that in a few weeks or in a few months he'll have to resign. He did not, and he survived politically until now. And now I think that's another big test for him. He has a majority in the cabinet. It's not in question. The question is whether his ultra-nationalist coalition partners, Minister Bezalel Smotrich and Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, would say, we're not only voting against the deal, it is clear that they're going to vote against, but we are also leaving the coalition. If that happens, Netanyahu loses his majority, and he'll have to go to his political rivals in the opposition and say, you promised me a political safety net, now is the time to deliver.
And of course, Matthew, this is happening at a key transition point between the Biden administration and the incoming Trump administration.
Yeah, and I don't think that timing should be overlooked. I mean, it's vastly significant. I mean, Biden has been trying to get a deal like this through for many months, but has not been able to do so. The Trump factor, if you like, is what I think has really sort of focused people's minds inside Israel and amongst the other parties as well, and got this deal such as it is across the line. And part of the reason for that is that there is an anxiety on the part of many Israeli officials. They want to maintain Trump's support for the country, which has been very strong in the past and certainly during his first presidential term, because he's such an unpredictable figure, or he's seen as such an unpredictable figure, that there's concern that if he is not appeased or if he is in some way rebuffed, then that could have quite dramatic, significant consequences for his attitude towards Israel. And actually, we see that across the sort of spectrum of international affairs, with countries moving to appease Trump even before he's got into office, so they don't sort of incur his wrath or his anger, as it were, once he's in the hot seat in the Oval Office.
And Barak, tell us how this is going to start playing out, because it will begin with the hostage release on a limited scale this weekend.
Yeah, I think so. First, there would be the vote. Tomorrow it's going to pass. Then the Israeli government will publish the list of the names of the prisoners that are going to be released in order for people to be able to appeal to the Supreme Court. And then on Sunday, around noon local time, the ceasefire will begin, and the first 3 hostages will be released. The first 3 hostages that will be released are expected to be 3 women, civilians, not soldiers. And then it will take another week until 4 other women will come out of Gaza. And then every 7 days, another 3 or 4 hostages until on day 42, all the remaining hostages in the first tranche, which has 33 hostages in them, both those who are alive and both those who are deceased, will be released.
So long that they have been in captivity and that their families have been waiting for them and for answers. Barak Ravid, thank you so much. Matthew Chance, thank you.